Hi everyone and welcome to Inderes TV. Today here with Antti Viljakainen. Welcome.
Thank you.
And the topic is Huhtamäki, and we have been getting questions about how to pronounce it. How do you pronounce it?
Huhtamäki.
Huhtamäki. How would you describe Huhtamäki in a nutshell? This is not a small company and not an easy task, but go ahead and try.
Small. We are talking about a large cap company in the scale of Helsinki Stock Exchange, but in the big world, it would be maybe a mid cap or small cap.
Yeah.
But anyway, they have operations all over the world, in all continents, 4 divisions. Food service, Europe, Oceania, Asia, North America, flexible packaging and fiber packaging. Huhtamäki is a packaging company.
And they package what exactly? Food?
They package mostly food, but also some consumer goods and healthcare products. So basically, they are in the business that touches consumers' daily life.
Everything from pet food to toothpaste and coffee to go and
exactly. Most of products are for food packaging on the go or on the shelf. Huhtamäki's big customers are global brands like
some name dropping, please.
McDonald's, Starbucks, Unilever, and so on, and of course also a lot of local players in food industry and in consumer goods.
They're really big names there.
And well, you can find these products from McDonald's. They are trays, cups, lids, straws, and so on. Flexible packaging you can find from every supermarket.
And the internationalization level is really, I mean, they have operation in almost 40 countries and customers. But are these production units as well? Or
yes,
customer base?
Yes, they are. Huhtamäki is operating in converting industry, where it's important to be close to your customers. So they have basically units in all over the world. Like you said, in 40 countries. I think that the net sales is divided roughly equally to Europe, to North America, and emerging countries, mostly in Asia.
And net sales last year was about?
Net sales level is somewhere around 4.5 billion euros this year and last year as well.
Yeah. So when you talk about these different divisions and type of goods, are there some specific area with specific goods, or are they equally divided all over the world as well?
No, well, of course, all products are not available in every continent, but they have quite global platform in most of businesses. So I would say that Huhtamäki has mostly the most broad product offering globally in food packaging industry.
So compared to peers, this is really global one.
Actually, quite difficult to find very similar peer to Huhtamäki from the listed companies. They have, of course, plenty of global packaging companies in the peer group, but
what would be the closest peer?
I usually like to compare to these big global packaging companies like Amcor or Sonoco, even if their product portfolio are quite different. Packaging industry is relatively fragmented industry, so Huhtamäki competes a lot against small local players as well.
Yeah. So when you talk about the internationalization level and really this is really a global brand. So what about the money transferring and currency effects of this? Where do they buy the stuff, and in what kind of currencies do they sell, and what are the effects?
Well, of course, as they operate all over the world, they use a lot of different currencies.
Yeah.
Mostly revenue and costs are in same currency.
Yes.
So this basically means that the currency impacts hit personal profit and loss statement by translation effect, which is maybe a bit more easy to compare, to control than transaction risks. The biggest currency pairs that can have impact on Huhtamäki are, of course, Euro to USD. Other currencies, Indian rupee, and Chinese renminbi, and plenty of other currencies as well. But as the costs and revenue are mostly in same currency, it's not actually
that big. So they're kind of operating globally as well, and the currency as well at that operating point. Okay. But what are the global market drivers for this type of company?
Packaging, good question. Packaging industry is growing. Industry growth is driven by population growth, increasing standard of living. People usually need to reach income level, certain income level before they start to buy packaged food.
Yeah.
So
and pet food as well.
Yeah, and pet food as well.
For instance.
And so this is a big driver. When people get more wealthy in emerging countries, they become relevant clients for Huhtamäki. Other trends that are driving growth are urbanization and also transfer from fossil-based materials to renewable materials. Huhtamäki's portfolio is some 2/3 from fiber-based packaging, and the rest are plastic-based packaging, i.e. flexible packaging.
At least according to the company itself, they're a forerunner in sustainability. What do you call it? Operation. But if you think about the legislation as well, it could be kind of a stopper for the business, but also a driver going forward. And EU legislation is kind of strict as well. But how do you see Huhtamäki there? Is there something they could really benefit from, or is it more like something disrupting their business?
Well, this is of course a big theme that has popped up in last years. I would say that Huhtamäki has positioned relatively well to this trend, as most of the revenue come from fiber-based packaging, and I have to remind as well that plastic it's not synonym to bad. Flexible packaging is actually very efficient way to pack food, especially in emerging world, and it prevents food to get old.
It prevents food waste, which also is kind of a sustainability factor.
It's a very material source of emissions that food just get old and wasted. So plastics it's not synonym to bad. But Huhtamäki has taken ESG to very central part of their current strategy, and they have set quite ambitious targets that are followed constantly. So I would at least say that they are not doing less than the peer group.
Yeah.
It's difficult to say
where they position themselves according to peers.
Exactly. So most of global companies are working with this topic. So others do also work.
But if you think about the regulation on European level, it's really high. But if you think about emerging markets, I suppose there are differences there as well.
Yes, and also North America is quite a different market to EU. It's difficult to see that these products that are even banned in Europe could be banned in US, given their lifestyle, and so on. But the answer to your question, if this is more risk or an opportunity, I would say that at this stage, I would say 50-50.
50-50 and possibilities as well.
Like the most.
Yeah. So how would you define the company? I mean, it's actually humongous, and it's both defensive but also a growth company.
Yes, demand in normal circumstances is quite stable because the unit price of Huhtamäki's products and also products of Huhtamäki's customers like McDonald's hamburger are quite low. So usually consumers have money for these products if they are willing to just to buy. Last year is maybe an exception. We have got so bad.
Yeah, let's go into if you take a look at some years back and the historical performance for the company. So
historically, the company has been growing some middle single-digit percentage point speed during the last decade, driven by these trends that we touched earlier in this discussion. And the company has been doing quite stable operating margin, some 9%, maybe, which on the other hand translates to good return on capital and return on equity, because the business is not very capital intensive as such. So they have a very good track record from the last decade.
Yeah, and if you look at the balance sheet as well and the capital allocation.
Huhtamäki has been allocating very actively capital to organic investments. Market growth enables organic investments to factories and to new products and so on. And it's also very important to invest in order to stay competitive in this kind of business. And this fragmented nature of packaging industry makes possible also to make some M&A.
Which they have been doing historically as well.
Yeah. Well, different kind of acquisitions, adding new products or technologies or geographical areas that the company has been missing.
So a stable performer over time, kind of. But then let's zoom into the date now. What was the Q2 they reported in July? If you could summarize the last quarters.
The last quarters have been a bit difficult also to Huhtamäki.
Yeah.
As there has been simply too much products in the value chain. So the customers have been destocking, and this has meant low volumes to Huhtamäki.
So this is the core problem here.
During the last quarters, of course, to be fair, I have to say that it's unlikely that the so-called base demand has been very good either, as consumers have got a very bad hit on their purchasing power. So volumes have been declining. The company has been defending its profitability quite decently, but as top line doesn't have not been growing, they have not been able to run profit growth this year.
And is this problem more at the flexible?
Yes, it's
specifically.
This is that what I was discussing just a second ago. Is like a general big picture.
Okay.
They have of course businesses that are doing greatly, like for example North America.
Yeah.
And as you said, flexible packaging has been struggling.
Yeah.
The most because they have the business in emerging markets in countries like India, Egypt, Turkey, that have had a very difficult macro environment during the last quarters due to this inflation.
So how do you see it? Is this more like a short-term problem, or how do you see this in the bigger picture?
No, well, these times have been very exceptional, and thinking about these drivers that have been growing the business over time, I assume that they will continue, and the trading conditions sooner or later will improve, and the company returns to growth phase, which also allows profit growth as margins have stayed healthy in most of businesses.
Yeah. So what about Russia? Because the company did an exit.
Yes, they did exit at the last fall.
Yeah.
And Huhtamäki is actually one of the few Finnish companies that managed to get reasonable price for the assets.
From their assets when exiting. But still, there were good margins in Russia.
Huhtamäki had some 3% of net sales coming from Russia before this war. So it wasn't like their biggest margin, but it was a very profitable margin. I think that I guess that they were making higher margins in Russia than group does, well on the double-digit side. So it made a hit to profits this year.
Yeah, so it's we can see it in the figures on the 2023 side.
From Q4 22 onwards.
Yeah, so that's
the effect is over very soon.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still, I mean, it's something to add to the picture.
It's was a good market for Huhtamäki, but of course they couldn't stay.
Yeah,
stay in Russia.
So that's nothing you can do about it. But short-term struggle with something. But if you look at the current valuation, I mean, it's a growing market, and the history looks really nice.
Huhtamäki has been trading when we look at the 5-year median, for example, the backwards trading with quite high multiples. We are talking about PE multiple somewhere around 18, which comes from defensive nature of the business, growing nature of the business, good return on equity. And currently Huhtamäki's PE ratio is somewhere around 15, even if profit level this year is not really representing the potential that the company can do. So I'm quite positive about this valuation, and that it could offer a very good expected return when the time turn and Huhtamäki returns to profitable growth. Also, all other valuation methods like DCF suggest that the share is undervalued.
So, undervalued and upside potential for Huhtamäki. Thank you so much for all these comments, and you will find a link to the report down below.